Soon after I can't even believe I have to say this, nearly assassinated in Pennsylvania last month, Bobby called me to express his best wishes. He knows firsthand the risks incurred by leaders who stand up to the corrupt political establishment. When you stand up, you bring on some trouble for yourself, but you have to do what's right. You have to do what's right for the country. I will tell you, we are both in this to do what's right for the country. That's one thing I can tell you. He lost his father and uncle in service to our country, and Bobby himself was subject to repeated threats to his safety during the course of his campaign while being denied protection by the Harris-Biden administration. And this is a tribute in honor of Bobby. I am announcing tonight that upon my election, I will establish a new independent presidential commission on assassination attempts. And they will be tasked with releasing all of the remaining documents pertaining to the assassination of President John F. Kennedy.
That's right, man. Donald Trump is running rampant when, as he continues to appoint his people. Right now, he just appointed RFK Jr. as the United States Secretary of Health and Human Services. This comes as no surprise because, you know, Donald Trump is a man of his word so far. He's been doing his best to make sure that once he get in that office, he completely remove these elite deep state swampers. I think I should have just said that like that. But yeah, let's go ahead and read the official release, the official statement from Donald Trump as it relates to RFK. So we have, I am thrilled to announce Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as the United States Secretary of Health and Human Services, HHS. Excuse me. For too long, Americans have been crushed by the industrial food complex and the drug companies who have engaged in deception, misinformation, and disinformation when it comes to public health. The safety and health of all Americans is the most important role of any administration, and HHS will play a big role in helping ensure that everybody will be protected from harmful chemicals, pollutants, pesticides, pharmaceutical products, and food additives that have contributed to the overwhelming health crisis in the country. Mr. Kennedy will restore these agencies to the traditions of gold standard scientific research and beacons of transparency to end the chronic disease epidemic and to make America great and healthy again. I think this is a great look for Robert F. Kennedy and also Donald J. Trump. Now, right below this, you can see Daily Caller posted this video right up under here. It said, who would you pick? Rachel Levine versus RFK. Let's check this video out real quick, get a kick out of it. Hello,
I'm Dr. Rachel Levine.
That's a good boy.
As an openly transgender woman, I would like to highlight the importance of diversity. Diversity should be welcomed and actually celebrated.
President Trump and I are going to replace the corrupt industry-captured officials with honest public servants. We're going to steer resources to meet our nation's biggest health challenge, chronic disease. We're going to identify its root cause, and we're going to eliminate those exposures.
Happy Pride Month, and actually, let's declare it a summer of pride.
Doritos, Cheez-Its, Captain Crunch, gummy bears. Everyone knows that these are junk foods, so maybe you wouldn't be too surprised to see that the ingredients include a lot of poisons, including a harmful yellow dye called tartrazine, or yellow dye number 5. This yellow dye, tartrazine, causes tumors, asthma, developmental delays, neurological damage, ADD, ADHD, hormone disruption, gene damage, anxiety, depression, intestinal injuries.
At Health and Human Services, we're focusing on health equity. We are working, for example, on the impacts of climate change on health. We're working on environmental justice.
Not only do the chemicals pollute our bodies the same way that they pollute the soil, but corporate interests have hijacked the USDA's dietary guidelines. We're going to ban the worst agricultural chemicals that are already prohibited in other countries.
When it comes to making sure kids are healthy and happy, I know how important care that affirms someone's true identity can be. Gender-affirming care is life-saving, medically necessary, age-appropriate, and a critical tool for healthcare providers.
I asked God for 19 years to put me in a position where I could end the chronic disease epidemic and bring health back to our children. And in August, God sent me Donald Trump.
We have safe and effective vaccines, and it's just very important at this time for everyone to go out and get vaccinated. The world needs as many vaccines as we can get.
Of the 72 vaccine doses now mandated, essentially mandated, they're recommended, but they're really mandated, for American children, none of them, not one, has ever been subject to a pre-licensing placebo-controlled trial.
Yes, they have.
No.
Yes, they have.
You can read HHS's admission that not a single one has ever been safety tested pre-licensing. If I'm wrong, show me the test, show me the study. You won't be able to, because there are none.
Look, I'll take RFK any day, okay? That's just what it is, okay? Maha, make America healthy again. A man, somebody says, a man with a mental health problem that believes he's a woman and wears dresses versus a real man. All I would say to this is, God bless you, Donald Trump. Thank you, Donald Trump. Like, I really appreciate you, man. You got everybody out here scared. You got illegals over here getting swept off of the street. You know what I'm saying? Like, dog, like, you got even them in Canada. Like, we got to strengthen up our border. They try and come over here since Trump. You even got illegals saying that they will vote for, I mean, they still support Donald Trump, even if they get deported. That's going to be in another video, though. Anyhow. RFK had revealed that President Trump DOJ will launch RICO investigations and prosecute the collusion between medical boards, medical journalists, medical journals, and Big Pharma. Now, you know, it's been a lot of fishy stuff going on in America in terms of the health crisis. I've always said that, hey, the pharmaceutical industry is, you know, the same as the food industry, quite literally, because all you're doing is eating until you need the medication, and then they're going to put you on the medication, which is only going to make it worse, and they're not even going to tell you what you don't need to eat, and all that. This is going to be, did they just profit off of? Let's read or watch. My fault.
My initial inclination would be to use the Justice Department and the moral authority of the office, but also, you know, the Justice Department should immediately call in begin an investigation of the medical boards and the collusion between the pharmaceutical industry and the medical boards that are delicensing these physicians who actually try to heal patients and try to treat them. The Justice Department will also call in the medical journals that are corrupted by the pharmaceutical industry and explain to them that they're all going to be subject to criminal and civil RICO actions if they don't show us a way that they're going to stop revoking studies and refusing to publish studies that challenge the mercantile interests of pharmaceutical companies. We're going to change the way business is done at NIH.
Whoa, bucko, now we get to the fun part. First of all, God answered the prayer of RFK Jr. You know, he said for 19 years, he prayed to God to put him in position to end the chronic disease epidemic. This year, God sent me Donald Trump, end quote. RFK had just become the HHS secretary. Obviously, we went over all that, but I want y'all to watch CNN have an absolute meltdown over Trump appointing RFK Jr. as the head of HHS.
To steer clear of politics, but this really isn't about politics, because this is somebody who has been, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who has been pushing quackery, who has been pushing lies, who has been pushing conspiracy theories You've been talking to experts in the health community, the medical community, preparing for him, RFK Jr., to be given some sort of role in health. What have they said to you?
Well, you know, it's not often that the entire medical and public health community is going to be in lockstep on something, but they're pretty close on this in terms of their significant concerns, horror even.
Of course. Of course. I would have significant concerns too if I've been running a company that has been poisoning the American people, also suppressing scientific information and also calling these people who are researching me, call them all conspiracy theorists and all this. Yeah, seems very inconvenient for their pockets.
Somebody said to me today, I can't think of any single individual who'd be more damaging to public health than RFK. Keep in mind, I think if the reporting's correct and the job is the Secretary of Health and Human Services, that comprises the CDC. We just got through this pandemic, comprises the FDA, comprises the NIH. He's talked about wanting to basically strip funding for infectious diseases overall. Again, just coming out of this pandemic with concerns about other viruses and things out there. The challenge,
why are you guys doing this, right? He's clearly talking about wanting to create food products that aren't filled with chemicals and poisons that don't need to be in the human body. At the very least, how can you call somebody like that a conspiracy theorist and say that his rhetoric is dangerous? That doesn't make sense. Literally don't even make sense for you.
Things out there. The challenge, I think, is that at the same time, there is this whole idea that we're not a very healthy country. We spend $4.5 trillion on healthcare, and we have some of the worst outcomes in the developed world. And our food supply and other things are partly to blame, things that he's talked about. So there's these kernels of agreement with.
Did he just say our food supply is hardly to blame? What? Have you not heard about the heart issues that we've.
With regard to the medical establishment and the public health establishment in particular. But then there's these other things like Caitlin was just talking about that they're not alternative views. They are false views. People often say, well, these are alternative views.
False.
They're not. People say, well, look, I think maybe vaccines could be linked to autism. Fair enough. That was an issue that came up, and it was studied in these large studies, global studies involving hundreds of thousands of kids who were followed for over a decade to see if there was in fact a link. Some of the studies actually showed that you were more likely to have autism if you were not vaccinated. But the point being that issues are raised, issues are studied, and yet they still keep coming up. And I think that's one of the big concerns. That's a metaphor, I think, for other things that people are concerned about with him.
Dr. Sanjay Gupta, thanks so much.
Based on the most recent and reliable data, top 5, unaliving, how do I say this? Illnesses in America. Heart disease. This remained the leading cause of death in America, accounting for around 20% of all deaths. Heart disease includes conditions like coronary artery disease, hypertension. Oh wait, how do you say that? Hypertensive heart disease, heart failure, and others. Cancer. Wow. Food. So y'all say food can't contribute to neither one? Okay. Cancer is the second leading cause of death. Various forms of cancer, including lung, colorectal, breast, pancreatic cancer, contribute significantly to mortality rates. Chronic lower respiratory diseases. This category includes chronic obstructive, how you say that? Pulmonary disease, COPD, emphysema, and bronchitis. It's a significant cause of death, particularly linked to smoking and air quality issues. So that ain't necessarily, I already knew that one. Stroke occurred during issues with blood flow in the brain, either from blockage from bleeding. Okay, cool. Accidents. Okay, so, but the top 2 already, heart disease and cancer. You don't think food contributes to that, bro? These people, bro, who's paying these guys? Who is paying? I don't get it. By the way, big Big Pharma stocks is tanking in light of RFK Jr. being appointed to Trump's HHS department. I don't even know what I'm looking at exactly, but I mean, I know what up and down mean. Yeah. So yeah, it says market summary, Modern Inc. It says they're down by 5.62% today. Yeah. Whoo. Wow. Okay, so they were all the way up here, nearing, really between 41, 42, and they've tanked all the way down in between 39 and 40. Shout out to my guy George. He says good. Yeah. Keeping people unhealthy, sick, depressed, and dependent on big business they care about. They are about to be exposed for sure. That's definitely about to happen. I'm trying to tell y'all. So this is Pfizer, and it's down by, same thing, 2.62. Oh, they're down to the 20. Ooh, they was above 26.5, and that one, I'm just saying, it looked like a big dip, you know what I mean? When you say 26.5 to under 26, it don't seem like a big dip, but looking right here, woo. And these Democrats are still in panic mode. A Democrat today in today's hearing was whining because RFK Jr. is going to drain the swamp and fire federal employees who do not put the health of American people first. Major retailer Green says she clapped because his music to her is "It's time to clean house" at the HHS, NIH, CDC, and FDA. Make food healthy again. Well, make America healthy again. I don't know why I put food. Also, make Kingdom Reacts healthy again, because your boy over here, you know what I mean? I'm feeling better. I ain't gonna lie. I just can't laugh still, because as soon as I laugh, it's you heard it.
I'm very, very concerned that someone that could be entrusted with our nation's health, RFK Jr. has recently said, and I quote, that he plans to have a big role in the administration as it relates to health, and has just days ago pledged to gut the NIH, firing hundreds of scientists and researchers on day one. And I'm going to show, this is from ABC News, the headline that just appeared a few days ago, which, if we're talking about pandemic preparedness, and with all due respect to the committee and the work, the fact that we're considering to bring somebody on with no scientific or medical credentials, who's falsely claimed for decades that vaccines cause autism, who has, quite frankly, said just outrageous comments about science and medicine, that this person would come in to gut the NIH, I think is shameful. And Ms. Green, you can clap all you want, but it is shameful, it's dangerous, and if this committee is about pandemic prevention, we should be very concerned as a country that RFK Jr. could be put in charge of health when he is a vaccine denier and has caused great harm to the American public.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to be real. Either you just idiots or you're evil. This is a form of ABC News. Is he serious, man? This is what we voted for.